doom, it's worth it. How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world. You know, the internet was created by whom again? We the people. That's how we're getting to you through that magical unit once called the ARPANET. Well, folks, let me tell you something. It's now controlled by the billionaires, but something that we will take back. We're going to have a great show for you today. But without further ado, let's go to El Studio with the geniuses, El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba.
Well, good morning, Egberto. It is Thursday morning at the radio, the 11th of December, 2025. Just a minute after 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's cold outside. I'm not liking this cold at all.
43.
My dog likes it.
I'm sure your dog does. You got to wear a fur coat all your rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
It's cool enough for his fur coat.
Oh, Egberto, I am suffering from Trump poisoning.
Oh.
It's a toxic feeling of
Doom.
hopelessness and despair. And what is this maniac going to do next? I see that he has seized a freighter or an oil tanker, one of Venezuela's oil tankers. What in the hell is he doing?
Working for the oil companies.
I tell you, I saw that yesterday, and I couldn't. Well, I can't say I couldn't believe it. I can't. What I can say is, if we keep letting this guy do these things, he'll harm us for the next generation. He doesn't understand what's going on.
It's a pretty bold move. You know, I sat there and I was listening to him on the press conference over this thing, and he's just sitting there lying his ass off about everything. He's just lying about everything, and I'm going, "You're supposed to be the president."
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what kind of a president he is, but he's a rough one.
A corporately owned president.
Well, but he's like a mafia boss. What you gonna do with the oil? Oh, I'll keep it. I took it, and I'm gonna take it. I'll keep it. Look, whatever the case is, whatever treaties or whatever, because they're not going into to Venezuela. I don't think. I think they're going to cause some sort of a negotiation, but what they really want is to take the country's resources, and whatever treaty is signed under duress, shouldn't be honored after the guy's gone. But we'll see what happens. But anyhow, so is that your rant, Howard?
That is it. That I am suffering from toxic Trump poisoning, and it is, I gotta do something about that toxic Trump poisoning.
TTP, brother, TTP.
Yeah, well, Jack is already here with his phone, moved into the 21st century so he can read what's going on. Jack, it's all yours, man.
Now I need glasses. Today's show captures a country in motion. Hispanic voters are driving a political realignment that shatters old GOP assumptions from Miami to Georgia. Houston's own Democratic infrastructure faces a credibility crisis as Neil Aquino lays out how mayoral misconduct threatens civic trust. And globally, Trump's illegal seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker heightens tensions and risks human catastrophe. These stories converge into a broader narrative, grassroots democracy rising while authoritarian impulses, foreign and domestic, push back harder than ever.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is his comments.
And to that I say, hey, Democratic leaders, just because the tide of public opinion is shifting towards the left doesn't mean you are free to carry on with neoliberal, unregulated free market capitalism. For the true battle is between the people-powered government, democratic rule, versus corporate-powered government, fascism. For the revolution for sensible, regulated capitalism fair wealth distribution, and holding corporate power accountable for paying their fair share of taxes and stopping the offshoring of capital that does not circulate back through the economy. Democrats must purge and expose the neoliberals in their own party as the bought off politicians of corporate power. It does the citizen no good if the Democratic Party is corrupted by neoliberal fascism on the left as well as the right. The people demand ethical politicians with integrity working for the people, not corporately owned politicians working for their own and corporate wealth, stealing from the people.
It's going to be kind of hard to find one of those.
It's
Corporations have a lot of money and they buy them right and left.
We need to stop that and get some sensible politicians in power.
I keep
Indeed.
going back to just on everything with that good old word, Mam Danny. And people are like, why do you keep calling him out? He won in a liberal city. He won in a city that once elected Fataki, a state that once elected Fataki. He won in a state that once elected Bloomberg as a Republican. Also, what's the mayor, Mr. Mayor, that was a Republican as well, Rudy Giuliani. So let's be clear here. Don't let them shift the subject. Money doesn't have to win if you have a politician that is willing to do the work. Again, the politician that really willing to do the work and get people to listen. But anyway, today is Thursday, which it means it is the founder of the Houston Democracy Project is here with us today, Neil Aquino. So without further ado, let's say good morning to brother Neil Aquino, who I had the honor of participating in an event over this weekend where we spoke at an event held by District 8 candidate Laura Jones. How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. Good morning, studio. Good morning, global and local regional office. We were in Montgomery, Texas together. I had not been to Montgomery. They had a lot of nice trees there, and they were building housing developments at the speed of light. There were so many signs for new developments, and we keep sprawling on out. We keep sprawling on out.
It is funny because it took me an hour, nearly an hour and a half to get there. I thought I'm in Kingwood. I'm in Northeast Houston. That's a little bit west, but north. My God, it was far.
The Montgomery County has 750,000 people. Be great. Great to hear from you. If you live in Montgomery County, call the show. Give your thoughts today about how it's going in an active protest scene in Conroe that we discussed a little bit at the fundraiser for Laura Jones running in Congressional District 8. And it was an interesting model because she gave a platform to other community entities other than her candidacy. She wasn't hogging all the time or resources. I thought it was a different approach. I appreciated it. Okay, there's an election going on in Houston. Okay, if you live in the city of Houston, Saturday, there is an election between Dwight Boykins and Alejandra Salinas for city council. Early voting is over. So I'm looking at harrisvotes.com. There have been 25,903 ballots cast. Now, there are
Wow.
2.3 million people, whatever it is in the city. So I'm going to guess that's about 1/1000th, 1/100th, well, whatever it is, of the
Electorate.
Of the electorate. I'm sure I made some math person, but don't turn off. If you're a math major, it'll get better, okay? And it's just, I got to admit, when you see something like that, so anyone in the city of Houston can vote. Anyone in the city of Houston can vote. These people, Salinas and Boykins, I voted for Salinas. These people, Boykins was a council member once. They are endorsed by unions, by advocacy groups. They've been at churches. They're endorsed by politicians. And for all of that, they've been campaigning for months. They've been in the newspaper, on the radio. 25,903 people. And I will admit to a moment of despair about where will the resources come to fight authoritarianism when I see that 25,903 people out of 2.3 million have voted. So maybe on next Saturday, 500,000 people will show up, or maybe even 1 million. I'm not betting on that. But if you live in the city of Houston, you can vote. My view is that Salinas is the more progressive candidate. Boykins is endorsed by the police and fire unions, which is to me a big flag. They're both right-wing entities bankrupting our city. Salinas has talked about ICE taking on Whitmire a little bit. Who knows what they'll do in office. But you can vote if you live in the city. You can vote if you live in the city, and Saturday's election day.
Absolutely. Let me confess that I haven't voted yet, but on my way out to on Saturday, I will be going to my voting location to vote. So I will be one of the million people that you're hoping will vote on Saturday.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That'll be something. But look, we have to get the people. And again, I'm going to use the word. We have to get some Mamadani type acumen out here and start really letting people know that there's a value, their vote will matter, and that they need to go out there. Look, the elections in Miami last night was great. The election in Georgia was great. I don't have the exact numbers, but let me just tell you, folks, all the elections going forward are showing not a small shift leftward, but a huge shift leftward. We had the mayor of Miami, a Democratic mayor, was elected. It's been almost 30 years since Miami elected a Democratic mayor. And she didn't just win, she won by 19 points. Likewise, a state race in Georgia that was reliably red was flipped yesterday in Georgia. Every election since the November election has gone to Democrats, or if they hadn't win, they had recovered double digits. Yesterday, I interviewed Laura Jones, who is running in District 8, a plus 16 R district. And what we discussed on the line is this is the exact time that good people should be running, because all the stars are aligned right now with the evil that is emanating out of the Republican Party that is starting to materially affect people. Those folks in Montgomery County, they are going to face a big bill for their insurance. Those farmers that are growing corn in Montgomery County, her District 8 is not only Montgomery County. I think it includes several surrounding northern counties as well. So all those counties, that entire district grows corn. That district has cattle ranchers, things that materially Republican Party is harming, hurting directly.
A good chunk of it's in Harris.
Yes, thank you, exactly. Yeah. A good chunk of it is in Harris. That is I think the more progressive side may be, well, I can't quite say that because
I don't know.
lot of the northern Harris County isn't. But when we take a look at one of the things that I explained in our interview, and I'll play the interview on Friday, tomorrow. One of the things that I explained is, look, nobody's asking people to change their party affiliation. One is just asking people to vote your interests. And when you say vote your interest, vote what's going to save you money, vote what's going to save your life. It's not at all difficult to figure out who the candidate is that best represents you. So good morning. Lisa Blair, I think. That is Atlanta, Georgia. We have Harry Denson from Missouri City, Texas. We have Udi Deemer, I think, from Deer Park. Ben in Deer Park. So different name, huh? All right. We also have Faraver. Um, Lee the Bearcat, Austin, Texas. Jamie Harris, Lynette, Glenn Ryan, I know from Katy, Texas. LVW is in the house. La profesora, ¿cómo está mi hermana? We also have many others that I probably can't name all. Gayla Kunis, how you doing? Welcome aboard, Judy. Steven Rosenzweig, welcome. Ruth Gingras Anderson, welcome. Mary Tapska, thank you for being here. Lana Foley as well. Anyway, and we have from North Carolina, I saw we've got in Jane B in North Carolina, Stephen Com, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. And of course, here with us as well is the one and only Cheryl Elkins. All right, Neil, what's up?
Well, I hesitate to bring it up because I'm tired of it already. But we have the Crockett Tallarico primary, and I don't have a strong feeling either way. These candidates are they come into our spaces. In my view, a lot of elected officials are intruders in our spaces or temporary visitors at best. And so all of these resources, these people will. I'm so glad Alred got out of it. That woman, Julie Johnson, he's running against, you see, with this new redistricting, they are fighting for resources like two countries fighting over a drying river in climate change. Okay, so they are whapping each other. Colin Alred is running for a U.S. House seat in the Dallas-Fort Worth area against an incumbent, Julie Johnson, who's still in her first term, a Democrat. And whatever, that's their problem. And these folks take our resources, and one of them will be gone in 11 weeks. I've seen a lot. So the primary is March 3rd. Early voting is February 17th to 27th. There's a lot of emotion and a feeling. I have seen it suggested that if you suggest Crockett is the less viable candidate in November, that you're racist. That is a strain of thought out there. There has been criticism of Crockett for did she or did she not take AIPAC money? I don't know the answer. I guess she had been to Israel. I will say this: they will send you to Israel. You know, I have a friend who is a judge in Hamilton County, Cincinnati, Ohio, and they will offer these Israel trips to all elected officials. It is not inherently that you take one of these trips is not necessarily where your viewpoint is. So people saying that we're treating Crockett like Harris. I'm exhausted by the race already. It's been going on for 3 days because I don't know how it profits our side of the aisle to have the fight. So I won't be in the fight particularly. I'll go and vote for one, and I will be glad. They will suck up millions and millions and millions of dollars. Sorry if this is an overly pessimistic take on all this. And they will suck up millions of dollars while your local Democratic club is begging for $100 for postcard stamps, or you're block walking for a breakfast taco, volunteering for a candidate, knocking doors, being chased by dogs. So good luck to the two of them. And and if it boosts turnout, boosts excitement, then great. And but I look forward to supporting the nominee.
You took a different take than I thought you were going to take. You know, I mean, the calls that I've received so far have been a lot of people upset, thinking that Crockett going into the race, that she couldn't win Texas, And let me first qualify that if that
Everyone
is
got a right to run. God bless her.
right, here it is, because I want to say this: nobody should feel that if they believe it's a mistake for Crockett to go into the race, that somehow that automatically makes them a racist. That's not so. By the way, Lana is from Maryland. Thank you for being here, Lana. Let me just say this: nobody uh, should believe that. Let me tell you what my beliefs are with this race. First of all, you are so right that it's going to suck up a whole lot of money that would be better spent elsewhere. I
On
think
anything.
exactly. I think those two should make a pact that we'll go out there and make the best case and give Texas an option without spending a whole lot of money and asking people for a whole lot of money. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. One of them will lose, one will win, but both of them, the way things are right now, are sucking up a lot of money out of the progressive space. And let me tell you something. You know who could use that money much better right now?
You and me.
KPF. Exactly. Politics done right. The Houston Democracy Project, KPFT. That money would be
Right.
much better spent because after either Tallarico or Crockett's gone, we will be there trying to inform the American public, trying to inform Texans, etc. But that said, my position on the race is the following: a lot of folks are concerned because while like I said, you you shouldn't call anybody who doesn't want to see Crockett and want Tellerico a racist. That is absolutely wrong. There are there are reasons why many people come to the conclusion that they come to. In fact, I thought about it as well. I am a very pragmatic person. Tellerico, in my opinion, I interviewed Tellerico. I really like Tellerico. I also think Tellerico has the experience with healthcare, being one with diabetes, that can win over quite a few people, right? Also, he has the pedigree, and here's something I'm going to say, and please understand where I'm coming from. He's a white guy, and a lot of people just know that people in certain parts of rural Texas will only vote for a white guy. They won't vote for a white woman. They won't vote for a black guy. They won't vote for a Latino. They won't vote for any of this. That's just how some of them, and I think I spoke to a few candidates about that already. Now, what percentage of Texas is that? I don't quite know. I know that that we had a powerful white guy who ran. Beto O'Rourke came within 2 points, and I listened to Crockett in an interview that she gave. I think it was to MS Now, and she said the Republicans are having fun. They're telling everybody that would listen that the person they want to run against, is Crockett, and they're calling Crockett the Democratic Party's Mam Danny. And she said a smart thing. And after she said that, I started to have a let's see what happens attitude. She said, okay, so I am the Mamdani candidate. Did Mamdani win or lose? Did he win with everybody plugging money against him, with them calling him a terrorist and having a name like Zorhan Mamdani? Did he win? Yes, he did. And why did he win? Because he activated a base, a forgotten base. Uh, when I spoke to Laura Jones, who I think is an excellent candidate in District 8, Laura said, pointed out that Texas is not. She understands that Texas is not a state that is a red state. That Texas is in fact a non-voting state. Even her district, District 8, which has a plus R16, when you break down the demographics of her district from a socioeconomic standpoint, from a racial standpoint, from a from every standpoint, it is not R plus 16 district. It should be a competitive district. And the problem is, who is going to get there and engage the voters and let them know that your vote can make a difference? So I think the Tellurico Crockett race is going to generate quite a bit of activity. What I don't want it to generate is animosity. I don't want to see the animosity that we got
Good
between
luck.
Hillary Clinton and and let me tell you, Neil, you and I and others, as we use our platform, we can ensure that it's a healthy, or not ensure, we can promote a healthy race of ideas. A healthy race of ideas. Who is the fighter? Who believes in this? Who, without people taking it personally. I want to stress directly, not supporting Crockett does not make you a racist or a sexist. Some of you simply are working on what you think Texas is. And also supporting Talarico as the rational choice doesn't necessarily mean it's the best choice. I am saying what I decided to do after saying, you know what, Talarico I think has the pedigree to win. After reevaluating certain things, I want to see the race. I want to see
I
a
will.
healthy debate. Go ahead.
I just change. What I work to do a little bit is just change how we think about some of this in general. To me, these are two multi-million-dollar businesses.
Hmm.
It's like choosing between, cornflakes and Special K.
Yes.
Um, they have a whole network of consultants, hangers-on, grifters, strategists, media vendors. Okay, these are two multi-million-dollar pop-up businesses, like a Halloween pop-up or a Christmas pop-up, right? And you can't get a refund, right? You buy that 22-foot inflatable pumpkin or Santa, that store's gone, or you can't get your money back after it breaks. Um, these folks come and go, and I wish we would center ourselves. I wish that as we face an extermination unit in the making, which is ICE,
Hmm.
um, the idea that we're going to spend all of this money and effort. I'm glad that we led, in our discussion about the city council race. We have 29,000 people, 25,000 people out of 2.3 million have voted in the city council race. There are differences between Boykins and Salinas, and we need to muster and advocate our own energy. This is like debating, which movie do you like, Star Trek or Star Wars? These are two franchises who have, and I don't want to, I don't want to underestimate the importance. It's important that we don't inherently, reflexively dismiss a black woman as unable to win statewide. I mean, Barack Obama. I mean, I'm still amazed to this day. Barack Obama
Hmm.
got and he won. If you remember, he won Indiana. He won North Carolina. There were plenty of racists who voted for Barack Obama because he
Right.
thought that he would make their lives better economically, and then he bailed out the banks
Right.
rather than jailing them. Um, but I want to just change some of the underlying assumptions that when we're having a political discussion, debate, we sometimes will focus on the most visible candidate, and these people, to me, might as well live on Jupiter. They got nothing to do with me. They don't care about me. They're not thinking about me, and I am not interested in centering them. In when they are not centering um, the public. So I understand there are high feelings in some cases, but you won't get it from me. Come March 3rd, one of these folks will be off to their next business venture, whatever it is, and our problems and our need for community will remain.
I think we can't dismiss anything that you've said there. And I think underlying that, I got a text saying that we're getting an echo from you, and I'm trying to figure out what the reason would be because I see all my signals set correctly, but I'll try to figure that. Other people that are listening on the system, do you get an echo as well on the internet? Let me know, guys. Anyhow, that is important what you've just said. So I want to summarize something here. What Neil said is these are pop-up businesses, and I get what he's saying. He's absolutely right. People are going to zoom in. You've already started getting all those mailers in the mail, in your email boxes. You're constantly getting something from Talarico, something from Crockett, and it's going to suck a lot of money that could otherwise go into uh, educating people about what's happening, encouraging to get out the vote. There's a limited amount of funds. And when you have that inter-party rivalry, which, by the way, I support in this respect, in a lot of counties, you're going to have the progressive person and the neoliberal person running. And many of these elections are, if the Democrat wins, that's the person who is going to, whichever Democrat wins is the one that's going to represent that entity, or whichever Republican win, it's the one that is likely to represent that entity. What I've constantly told folks is for many of these races, the primary is the election. The primary is the election. So, that said, choose wisely, listen, and also donate wisely. Um, donate wisely, because again, as Neil pointed out, without fear, a lot of that money that's just going to be going to the radio stations, and I'm not talking public radio
Right.
stations. I'm talking commercial radio stations,
Right.
commercial TV, uh, high paid consultants, because many of you that are going to be doing block walking are doing it for your love of politics, your love of community. The consultants that Crockett and Talarico are using, and I'm
Right.
telling you this from experience, are
They don't
getting
care.
15, $20,000. And most of these people would not know South Park from
Right.
Studewood from or anything. They're being paid to give advice on something they know little about. If you want
Yeah.
to learn about downtown, maybe Crockett and Talarico should give Neil Aquino a call. Somebody that is out there every day. But did they give you a call, Neil?
No. I'll tell you, at No Kings on October 18th, there were two. There were there at City Hall. So this was at Houston City Hall. I was up on the. I spoke at Houston City Hall. Me and others, and there were two different groups that had use of the space. And one group began at 2 o'clock. The group I was part of, and the other, and we were not allowing elected officials or candidates. The previous group was there, and Crockett spoke. So she got out of her limo. There were some security people, and that's good. That's appropriate. And then she came up with her entourage. I don't have a different word to use. It was three or four people. It wasn't the biggest entourage, but she didn't shake anyone's hand. She didn't look at anyone. She walked about 30 feet, 40 feet from the limo to the speak to the microphone, and spoke for 3 or 4 minutes. Other people had done the work to establish that space, and a lot of hard work had gone into it. She didn't thank anyone. She didn't acknowledge anyone. She spoke for 4 minutes, went back, didn't thank anyone and I don't know. That's not an endorsement of Talarico, but she might as well have been. I'll date myself. Madonna or some celebrity. It had nothing to do with me. Um, so I'm going to choose just out of self-interest and self-interest of our communities.
Well, look, I can't argue with that. I can give you a different experience in that I went to the dinner. The I was invited to the dinner at the party,
Yeah.
and
The
she
yearly
came in.
fundraising, the JRR.
Not the JRR. The JRR is in January. This was a JR. There are two different ones. So the JR is in January. They had to postpone it. The JR is here. So when I went to it, she actually came and spoke well, and again she stayed. Both her and what's the name of the congressman that had cancer? He runs the judiciary committee. I can't
Raskin.
remember. Raskin.
Right.
Yeah, both her and Raskin came out, and I had good conversation with both of them. So it's interesting. I want to pause a second here
But that
because I
makes
want
my
to
point
address.
in a little bit that in this is just what frustrates me, because in the political
Yeah,
space she was reaching out, in the activist space, hey, thanks for the resources, see you later.
right. We need to address that. Let's hold that thought for a second because I do want to address something that do you like just put in the ethos there. He wrote the following: Dude, yesterday you hit a freaking nerve. Dude begged and pleaded to have coffee with a known MAGA racist caller into the show. This is exactly the point. The point I do not agree with this, Egberto. Yeah, I'm talking about Brian. Egberto was giddy with having FaceTime with Brian. Makes me sick. Weak, and I'm out. I hope you stick around to listen to my answer. No, I was not giddy to have breakfast with Brian or anybody else. I am happy to have it's actually coffee. I'm happy to have coffee with absolutely anyone and everyone. And do you lie? I'm happy to have coffee with you too. Okay? And as much as you give me hell on this program all of the times, if I say something you criticize, if I do, that's fine. That's America. You want to have some coffee and talk about it? Let's have some coffee and talk about it. Not a little comment on the chat and do it. I meet with everybody because I am not in here for Egberto or for Neil. I'm here to hopefully foment somehow that we can all do what's best for us all. And if that means sometimes I take some crap for the better good, I'm not asking everybody to do it. I'm not asking you to do it. I am willing to do it. Ryan wants me to say you can tell him it was my idea to have coffee with Brian. Yeah, but you know what? I would have had coffee with Brian anyway as well, Glenn. But you bought the coffee with Egberto. Not that you had to do that to have coffee with me. You know what we spoke about before. But it is important for us to understand these things. Okay, it is important for us to understand this. But let me go to the phone. We're going to continue this conversation. Let me get Delilah. Come on in, Delilah.
Berto and Neil, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We can.
Hello? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we can hear you.
Okay, just
Yeah.
two things real. You guys so much, Berto and Neil, for talking about that Tellerico Jasmine Crockett run. I really appreciate that. I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm a black woman, and you are right, Neil. I was actually leaning toward Tellerico because of his ground game, because he really gets in there with the people, and she doesn't. Because I think that she's very visible, and she's on all of the shows and everything, and I think that because in her mind she's this great fighter against Trump, and people are buying into that. But I think people are going to have to take a deep dive into both of these candidates, because our very freedoms are relying on us choosing the right people going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than just fighting against Trump. What about the little man? You know what? Trump is going to be out of office. All this damage he's done, the next person is going to have to undo it. And going forward, and to push back against him now. So it matters. You are absolutely right. And all those strategists and analysts, that's what happened to Kamala Harris. You cannot rule from the ivory tower. You got to walk these streets. You got to pull up your sleeves and you got to get among the people. That's number one. Number two, thank you, Egberto, for meeting for wanting to drink coffee with that mega guy, because, like I said yesterday, we got to put aside race, class, gender, and religion, and we have got to come together. That is the only way we're going to be able to survive this regime. We got to be intolerant. You got to set aside your lived experiences. You got to set aside the way you were raised, and we've got to come together. Thank you, guys. You're doing a great job. Keep on. Thank you.
Delilah, you made I know you made our day, Delilah. Both, both Neil and myself. Thank you. I mean, it's great to have such callers, such listeners that are deeply involved. Thank you so kindly for that. Let's go to David. Come on in, David.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Egberto. And Delilah, yeah, she was laying it out. It was nice. Yeah, I was going to just raise the issue of well, actually, two of them. You remember the big flood a couple of months ago that
Yes, sir.
killed all those kids? If I understand right, the owner of that resort, whether he bribed FEMA or whether he lied to them, he got them to declare that his lowest parcels were still above floodplain. So
Right.
he tricked the U.S. government into giving him a permission to build lower, and then he got all those people killed. Now, the state of Texas, well, there's lawsuits going on. There's state lawsuits, and there's going to be some against FEMA. And so the taxpayers are not well served by that rat. And so the thing gets even more complicated because if I understand, he died in the flood, and his heirs, it's basically heirs of a nonprofit. And if you the issue of whether you can personally gain from a nonprofit and whether or not his actions, it's going to get complicated because the nonprofit gets to skate. And
No, I didn't know that the owner, David, I didn't know that the owner died in the flood, did he?
Yeah, he was trying to rescue some people, and they found him in his car. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. But actually, one conspiratorial thing I'd ask, there were 34 cute Christian girls that flooded in there, and did they ever find their bodies?
And I don't think they found all the bodies at all. No, I don't think they found all the bodies. But David, you're right about bringing up the corruption about the thing. But yeah. Well, let's talk about that another time. I still have more calls that I gotta get in, David. So thank you for your call, my brother. Let's jump to Jimmy real quick. Thank you, brother. Let's go to Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy. Oops, we're gonna come to Jimmy in a minute. Let's see. Jimmy's gonna be on in a minute. Jimmy, come on in.
I voted early for Salinas for Houston City Council. She was endorsed by the Houston Chronicle, and I urge everybody to vote for her on this Saturday. The main reason for my call, though, is I watched a Netflix documentary last night titled Daughters, and it's about men in a prison who rarely get to see their children. Somebody worked out a deal where the daughters would be able to visit their fathers, who are mostly black, and they're going to have a dance in this prison. So it's really a heartwarming story about how the men got to see their daughters. They got to hug each other and tell each other how they love each other and how they miss each other. Sometimes they haven't seen their fathers, for several years because they're in prison. But I highly recommend this Netflix documentary titled Daughters. It's really a heartwarming video.
You know what, Jimmy? I'm gonna write an email to Netflix and tell them that they need to start paying you for advertising those Netflix documentaries. But man, thank you for that, though. I mean, everyone that you've recommended so far has been great. But you have a wonderful day, Jimmy.
You see, keep up the good work.
All right, Come on in, Donald. Let me hear what Donald's going to tell us now, Neil. Donald is our good friend of the
Hey,
show.
good
Donald,
morning,
come on in.
Neil. Good morning, Bart Show. Hey, good morning,
Good
guys.
morning.
Morning.
Good morning, my
Rich
brother. Talk to
man,
me.
rich man dances why the poor man pays the band. It's just always going to be that way. Now, Sheila Jackson Lee, rest in peace, paved the way for these other people, but they're missing the fact she was still approachable. She did the
Yes.
camera stuff just to get her in a position because she had to, because there wasn't anything, nobody had paved the way. Now, I don't know how you got in Montgomery County because I didn't get the alert on my phone that said, there was a progressive Latino African. And if it took you an hour and a half.
The sheriff didn't tell you, huh? Yeah.
No, nobody said that there was a progressive in the area.
Yeah.
But how
It
did
took
it
me
take
forever
you
to.
an hour and a half to get from Kingwood to Montgomery County? Did you ride your bicycle or did you go through all that crap they're building by my house? Because
I went through all the crap. Oh man,
now
those.
is like 1960.
I know. I mean, going through all those 2-lane roads, and it took me all the way north. Then, I mean, it took me some interesting way to go northwest. But anyway, hey, Donna, my phones are filling up, and I need to get it. I need to get Michael in. I think Michael is gonna tell me a few things.
You guys take care.
Take care about it.
Thank you.
Michael, come on in. Michael, you're on.
Let me soft speaker. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to respond to Delilah. Very interesting call, and I really appreciate the words she said because I can't support her. I can't because she's in Washington. She's very intelligent, very smart, but she's not on the ground. And I don't think the way you said it, Egberto, the rural part of Texas, even some of the people in Houston, in the suburbs with the newly drawn districts, are just not going to vote for a very vocal, glamour queen, black woman, no matter how progressive or in the middle she is. It's just not going to happen. So, and the sad thing, she might get out the primary. When I think we have a good person who's walking streets, doing the talk, everything that's needed to win a senatorial position in the state in Texas. Sorry about that. So that is my comment today.
Let me just tell you this, Michael. Before you go, I can't listen. I listen to what Neil have to say. I listen to what you have to say. I am no guru in what to say. I'm just saying. And by the way, I think with what you just said, you were plain, and I've got to agree with that. I've got to agree with what Delilah said. I've got to agree with what Neil said. You know why? Because there's a whole lot of things I just don't know. I think both of us would admit that everybody has the right to get in, and we should let them go in there and check out
Absolutely.
and see if they have what it takes. Right, Mr. Michael.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Let me say this: that when they get
go ahead.
When the Supreme Court gets rid of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act,
which they will,
so that you're going to have fewer majority-minority districts. So I'm people's minds and do change. So we're going to have new coalitions. These districts that we're so familiar with in Harris County, that our state legislative, our majority Latino, majority Black, a lot of these state legislative districts, let alone the congressional districts, will go, and we're going to have to build some new coalitions. That's all I can. It's going to be a whole new world.
I don't even know if that's a bad thing. It may force people to unite.
Right.
I'm
not saying it's good. I mean, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming, and I if Miss Crockett can go and run strongly,
we'll see.
Predominantly white areas, then maybe she's showing us a new path.
We'll see. Exactly. Hey, I got 6 minutes and I got 4 calls, so I'm going to restrict. Jeff, come on. Jeff, I was expecting you a while back. Come on in, Jeff. Line number 5. Let's see.
Hello,
Jeff, you're on.
You're on.
Hi, Berto. Hey, thanks. Hey, appreciate you, Egberto, and the show in this forum. I just wanted to call in and thank you again for what you do here, and we're real grateful for the time you spent with breakfast with me and Amy on Tuesday. And I think, like I said when we kind of wrapped things up the other day, I appreciate this forum where we can all be curious, right? And to all your listeners and followers, even detractors, right? This is to stay curious, right? I like the healthy friction that you promote and support, and I think by leaning in to other people's points of view and dare I say vectors of analysis for the engineers of us, we can really learn and truly discover what's possible, right? And so I know you're short on time. There's people right behind me, but I just wanted to thank you again for being approachable, and for people who don't know how to participate, right? There's lots of ways, whatever channel works for you, but I just want to thank you again for everything you've done, and for Tuesday. A big fan. Appreciate you.
And I thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And I just I don't think you would mind me saying, that's my Republican brother out of on the west side of the north in Harris. I think he's in Montgomery County. And I really enjoyed. We had substantive discussions. This is where we need to be. Again, this is where we need to be. Let's go to brother Bobby on line 1.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Bobby.
Yep,
Talk to me.
I can't hear anything. All right, there you go. Yeah, as far as that person, all upset because you engaged Brian and offered to have coffee, I actually commend you for that. I think now is a great time for, progressive Democrats to try to reach out to Republicans, because we try to talk sense to them, and I know you do especially, for so long, and they either don't believe it or they don't want to listen. But now, that all these things that are, actually having an actual effect on people, like my insurance is climbing. You see, like you say, that the farmers are struggling, all these things. I think we need to engage with the Republicans more, because they're lied to so often. Like if Trump lied 30,500 times, I think it was, in his first term. So I think, like when I listen to you talk, I'm always thinking to myself, man, where are these Republican shows? We need some of the people from this show to be, the callers like Brian calling in and trying to talk sense to the other side. And like I know Brian has even tried to take you off the air. So if anybody should hate Brian, it should be Egberto. But Egberto understands that people have been lied to, that they've been, you don't seem to hate anybody. You just understand that they've been misinformed, and you want to help bring them to the truth. So I commend you on what you're doing. And I think we need to engage more Republicans.
I appreciate you, brother. And again, hate doesn't help anybody. So, it's about all of us. But thank you, brother. Let's go to Johnny. Johnny's in the air. Come on in, Johnny.
No vectors of analysis required for the following. Here it is. Jamie Rascal. Jamie Rascal for president. Or Jamie Rascal to be the head rascal. I'd rather have him as head rascal than the current rascal we got occupying the outhouse right now.
Hey,
On a
Johnny.
more serious note.
Yes.
Yes?
Real quick for me, Johnny. Real quick for me.
I would have loved to see Jasmine Crockett go for the Senate, except for one teeny tiny detail. Now, I don't know if Mike, the earlier caller, was referring to the drama queen. Was he referring to Jasmine Crockett that way?
Yes.
Okay. See, this is my criticism. You can't criticize someone for being a drama queen. She's not a drama queen. Not even Sheila Jackson Lee is a drama queen. Donald Trump is the drama queen, guys. So
Yeah.
if you refuse to support Jasmine Crockett, it's got to be for something substantial, like her taking APAC money. Is that a fact or not? Yes or no, you guys? Can you confirm?
I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I honestly
you hear 10
don't know
different
for a
things.
fact.
I don't know.
Yeah. But Johnny, we're going to have to finish this another time, because I got 2 calls and I got to get it out. So, Gil, sorry for only giving you 30 seconds. Thank you, Johnny.
I got it out.
Love you, brother. Gil, I got to only give you 30 seconds, but come on in, Gil.
Okay, I was going to ask you about 2 points. I'm just going to go to one because you're time constricted. I have a general academic question. Do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene can have a positive influence on Congress if she runs as an independent, trying to sway Republicans to become more centered.
I'm not trying to wait. Let me let Neil take it. Neil hasn't said much. Neil, take it.
I believe she's just another form of MAGA. God knows where she's finally reporting to. I'm very dubious.
Okay, let's go to thank Gail. That's the answer for now, but we got to go. Let's talk tomorrow. Let's go to Mike. Come on in, Mike, real quick, 30 seconds.
Good morning, Alberto, and I'm glad it's 30 seconds because I got to get into work here really quick. Listen, I was just going to make a suggestion, something called Lunch with the Listeners. It could be a donation event, just a bunch of different listeners getting together, talking to yourself, talking to the other people that are on the air, anybody willing to participate.
Thank you for that advice. I think we're going to take you up on that. You see, I got the greatest listeners, callers, everything. Thank you, Mike. Have a good one. Let me throw it to the studio before Neil gets a closing statement.
Well, Jack's got something I don't. Go ahead, Jack.
Michael was saying glamour queen, not drama queen.
Okay. Sorry about that, Michael.
House passes bill for $90 billion for military programs. Newsweek said worker flips off border guards at convenience store and refuses to serve them fried chicken.
Well, that's it.
All right, let's move on to Neil. Give me a closer, Neil.
Right. So Saturday there's an election in Houston. If you live in Houston, I'm voting for Alejandro Salinas. I believe is the not a progressive, but the more progressive of the two. Alejandro Salinas, and that if you live in the city of Houston, you can vote. Houston Democracy Project, HoustonDemocracyProject.com.
Don't forget, folks, HoustonDemocracyProject.com is where Neil writes at. Love you all. PoliticsDoneRight.com/newsletter. The rest of the program is there. You can email me directly, kpft@PoliticsDoneRight.com. Love you all. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments December